Hey guys, Sketchbook here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins. More Origins? We're never going to finish that finish line, are we? Target exclusive. Oh, geez, kind of, sort of, because this is a little easier to get than, well, to be honest, anything from Hasbro that's Target exclusive anyways. But today we're looking at the Sketch series, Hordak and Grizzlor, ? Brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel, as well as my good buddy Evil Villain and the Misses. So I will leave a link in the description below to his Instagram because, well, I don't think Ms. Villain has one, but I guess if she does and is okay sharing it, I'll put the link there too, but don't count on it. That said, I actually did pay for this, so shout out to me, myself, and I for having the $30 to pay for it. But at any rate, yes, Sketch series, Origins, because they haven't dragged this dead horse out to pasture long enough. Like, when are they finally going to put the bullet through its head and kill it already? Because this dead horse is starting to smell funny, if you know what I mean. I like Origins, don't get me wrong, they get views on the channel, but why do we need all this extra stuff? Like, can we just complete the vintage line, please? Please! That said, I guess there's a Cyclone Spikor one, and then, what, like 2 robot guys coming out in this, too? I don't know if these are being released quarterly, or every 3 months, or 4 months, or what, but gee whiz, are we ever going to finish that finish line? Only time will tell, I guess. So, before I get too far ahead of ourselves with headaches, why don't we cut right to the chase and get to the meat and potatoes of this review and take a look, see what all these two have to offer in terms of accessories. Hope you didn't want anything for Hordak, because you don't get nothing. You get a couple of claws for Grizzlor, though. Terror claws. Alright. These molds are definitely getting used, that's for sure. They've been using them since the WWF, WWE, Masters of WWE Tourney days, for crying out loud. I think they came with one of the first Triple H's. So, let's move Grizzlor, quote-unquote Grizzlor. He doesn't look like an aardvark or a weird elephant or anything. Take a look at Hordak here, who looks a lot more like the orc guy from Heavy Metal. The one that fights Tarna in the end kind of reminds me of that dude. If he had hepatitis, because he's yellow. Probably should see a doctor, bro. That said, the belt is from the Mutant He-Man. Seen that from Turtles of Grayskull. The chest armor, I think, is new. The boots, I think, are new. The right arm, I think, is new. I think. And then the lower arm we saw with the Horde Trooper Prime. At least the cannon part. The other part, we actually saw this with Clawful, I think. It's Clawful. And this arm we've seen before. It literally looks like they had mini comic trap jaws left over and decided to make customs out of him. That said, the head is obviously new. He's got a horned helmet. Almost looks like an alive version of one of those skeleton dudes, but not really. Kind of wish he had a swappable regular arm, because it'd be cool to just have a regular, like, orc dude instead of this weird cyborg crap. But, whatever. That said, I'm not going to call this Hordak, because this looks absolutely nothing like Hordak to me. I'm going to call him, I don't know, Glavion, because this arm looks like a glaive. We'll call him Glavion, because why not? That said, as far as articulation goes, it's Origins, so the heads will turn, bop up and down, tilt a little bit, whatever. Shoulders will pop out to the side. These far. It will rotate to, ooh, squeaky. He's got the little squeaky in there. He's got a swivel in the elbow with a hinge. That's pretty solid. Swivel hinge wrist. Some mold degradation for days on this guy, unfortunately. Yeah, that arm's not as tight. Waist twist. I'm sure that'll start. Yep, there's a squeak. Not sure if I put a dab of soap in there, though. knock that off, but I don't want to make anything loose. As far as the hips go, they will kick forward. Not incredibly far, but far enough. Far enough for an Origins collector. Because it's Origins. Origins is the best thing ever, isn't it? No! His hips will kick out that far. Back down. He's got a double jointed knee. Single jointed knee. Double jointed if you count the swivel as a double joint. And then he does have boot cut, but on this side it's not as tight. But on this side it's very tight. I'll show you that in a minute here. Let me bend the knee because it's easier to turn the boot. Like you can see that this is really tight on here. So much so, I feel like it's going to pop the knee right out the socket. So I might actually heat this, pop it, and put some soap in there just to prevent that. But I'm not worried about this breaking or anything. These pegs got plenty of flex in them and whatnot. Not for nothing, I'm probably not going to use a boot cut on this guy anyways, because these boots are kind of a pain in the arse to get off and on and rotate. So I'll probably just leave it. It's got a hinge in the foot with a rocker though, and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. If I didn't mention it, this thing turns over here and gets about this much range bending forward. So there you go. I don't know if this is supposed to be a cannon or what, but it looks like some giant glaive thing. So Glavion it is. We'll call this guy Glavion. I need to get him a Horde band. He doesn't have one. Listen to that crunch. Now we have Captain Aardvark here. Anyone remember the Pink Panther show? The Aardvark? I do. I'm sure Evil Villain's like, great, he's talking about more boomer arse era cartoons. But either way, I'm going to call this guy Tuskor, because it's not Tuscador, because that name is taken, especially in Masters of the Universe. Because he's got two giant tusks, and like a trunk, and elephant ears, and I don't know, he looks like Hubert McTubert the Elephant. What the heck's going on here? It's very weird. How's this Grizzlor? At all. I am perplexed by this. This character is an enigma to me. At least this guy, you know, he's like a goblin, could be a vampire under that helmet. He's still got the teeth and stuff. This guy is like a straight friggin' elephant. What the heck? That said, I will say the knees on this guy are particularly tight because this Grizzlor body does not get a lot of mileage as far as the reuse goes. So they have not really done much with it. But maybe that's for the better. It makes him a little more special because he doesn't look like 50 other guys you already have. As far as the head goes, you don't get a ton of range out of that. I don't know if these tusks are separate glued in pieces or what. I don't think so, but I'm not going to futz with mine to find out. This armor is new. If I could turn his head a little bit, you could see it there. It looks like he's got the Evil Horde symbol on his chest, and he's got that armband, so he's a better, like, Evil Horde guy, whereas this dude, you even have the Evil Horde logo? I'm not seeing it, but maybe it's there. I think it's right here. It's like more angled. But he needs a Horde band, so I'm going to have to hook him up with one of those. But he does have different feet as well. He's got more of these stomper, kind of cowboy boots with these little spikes on the back. Other than that, I think they are just the Grizzlor boots. But as far as the Terror Claws go, you can clip them onto the arms. I guess they clip on like this. They're not the tightest things ever, I must admit. I think he's got new hands too. He's got really tight grips, so if you have Grizzlor, maybe slap those bad boys on. Maybe these clip on better to the side. Yep, they do. There you go. There's one claw. That just kind of wants that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Why isn't it staying on now? I literally put this on once. What the heck? The best line ever, huh? Best line for accessories, don't stay on the figures. Okay, so we have a problemo here. This thing is not staying on like it was earlier. I don't want to put it too high on the arm because I don't want to stretch that clip out. But it just feels like every time you try to work it into the sweet spot, it just kind of pops itself off. Alright, there. That's on there, secure now, so we're done. We got this one. Let's see, let's try to get that on there. Get on there. There you go. And I guess that works. Alright, there. This one's a little tighter than the other side. I don't know why that is, but it is. It is because it's mine. That's probably why. But there. This one's on there. The other one's on there. They're both on there. That's all that matters. Is it? No. I want them to be consistent. Stay up there, you. There you go. There's Grizzlor with his claws of doom. So we can rip out your mortal soul. I don't know. I think the Grizzlor is probably the standout of this 2-pack. Just because he's so out there, whereas the other guy is just kind of a generic orc-looking dude. So, you know, pick your poison. It is a 2-pack. It's fairly inexpensive, too. You get 2 figures for $30. You can't complain. They got new pieces, new tooling. I will say, this guy had a buttload of schmutz on the back of his calf here. I went in with my X-Acto knife and I cut some of that off. Evil Villain actually had his shipped to me as well because it's just easier that way. He knows I'm the OCD quality control checker, and yeah, they're both like that. They're both pretty bad in the flashing department. The Grizzlor guy is fine, but the Hordak, I don't know if it's just because he's using the standard Origins parts, but there's a lot of mold degradation on that body at this point because they've been using it so much. Like that Rio Blast we looked at the other day, which was like all new tooling, so it didn't have that. So before we wrap this sucker up, of course, we got to bring in our 2 regulars. The Mythic Legion's Brother Manibulith. Right there. Whoop. Whose glaive thingy, or whatever you call this, the thing that's falling out of his hand. This thingy kind of reminds me of this Hordak's glaive on his arm. That's interesting. There he is. As well as the infamous Current 11 Spawn. Both of which are pretty much getting shoved off camera. Because they are not 5.5-inch figures. And of course Spawn's going to tower over everyone. I mean, just look at him. He's barely on screen. So, with that being said, not only are Hordak and Grizzlor members of the Men in Red and Black Club, because, well, most of Evil Horde is, but it is time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and if you want to add a couple more members to your Evil Horde, then look no further. However, if you're planning to use these as stand-ins for Hordak and Grizzlor in your Evil Horde, I think you need some glasses, because they look absolutely nothing like Hordak and Grizzlor as we know them. That said, if you're also wondering, were these 2 worth all the hype? Hell no, not even close. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.